19 minutes past 8, and plans to build that first nuclear power station in the UK for more than 2 decades are surprisingly on hold again this morning after ministers here said they needed more time to consider the plans.
The French energy company EDF last night voted to go ahead with building Hinkley Point in Somerset, but shortly afterwards the government issued a statement saying it would make a decision in the early autumn.
Well, Ben is at Hinkley Point in Somerset this morning for us, getting all the reaction. Ben, you see, the building work goes on, but we still don't really know whether it's going to be built.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, guys. Welcome to Hinkley Point. You'll see the big digger there, the PC3000 to give it its official name. They're doing what's called the groundworks here, and the groundworks have been going on for a long time already, basically preparing this site for what is going to be a huge project if and when it does get the go-ahead a little later this year. Let me just show you around though and let you see what's here, because this is the site. This is Hinkley Point C. This is where the new nuclear power station will, we hope, or we assume will be built. But you can see there in the background the two blue buildings. That's Hinkley Point A, decommissioned a couple of years ago. That's no longer active. And over on the right hand side you'll see the white building. That's Hinkley Point B. That'll be decommissioned in 2023, so that'll stop producing power, and therefore there's a need for something else to replace it. Now, what was going to be built on this site, Hinkley Point C, as we said, a spanner in the works, and that now delayed until the autumn, but there's going to be a project that would provide about 7% of the UK's electricity needs. Originally due to open in 2017, next year, but that's been pushed back to 2025. But it's also significant for the local economy too. Just to show you around here, you can see all the work still going on in the Somerset countryside here. This will provide accommodation for about 500 people. Beyond that, they'll build a small village for another 1,000 or so people, all those to not only help in the supply chain and the construction and the manufacture of this site, but it really does give you an indication of quite how much is resting on that agreement if we finally get that agreement later this year. Well, Tom is with me. He's from the Nuclear Industry Association. Tom, good morning.
Good morning.
We're here on a site that is busy.
Yep.
But we're told that a decision will not be made until the autumn. How damaging is it for another delay?
Well, I think what's significant from yesterday is EDF's big decision to go ahead and in terms of being able to commit the capital to build this project. The government has said they want to take a little time to look over it. I can understand that. There's a new Prime Minister, there's a new Chancellor, there's a new Energy, Business and Industrial Strategy Secretary. But you know, that job title that Greg Clark has sums up what this is about. It's about our energy needs, because as you've said, from 6 years ago to 14 years hence, in that 20-year period, 2/3 of our electricity generating capacity will retire, so it needs to be replaced. We need to replace that in as low carbon a way as possible. That's about a balance of different energy sources, including nuclear. And for industrial strategy and economic growth at a time coming out of the European Union, this and other big infrastructure projects are crucial. And you've referred to the number of jobs there'll be in construction, and then it's also jobs whilst this power station here is operating. For that 60, probably more than 60 years, it'll be generating electricity, consistent baseload, low carbon power. That'll be 900 jobs to operate that power station. It's a big economic factor as well.
A lot of the concern relates to the cost that the government's agreed to pay EDF if it's to build this plan, and what they would pay to guarantee that electricity supply, but also the cost of building this place. Conservative estimates say 18 billion, some suggest up to 37 billion. Which is the most accurate?
Well, that 37 billion figure is not the construction figure. The construction figure is 18 billion, and it has always been 18 billion. That's how much it will cost, and that's not for the public purse or for consumers to pay. That's what EDF as a developer will commit to building this project. And remember, no consumer's paying anything for any electricity from here until it's generated.
But when it is generated,
the government underwrite the price,
yeah,
as they do with renewables.
£92.50 for a megawatt hour, which means that us as consumers will end up paying a lot more in our bills.
Well, it means we'll have to pay for that, whatever the gap is between the wholesale price. But if the wholesale price is higher than £92.50, EDF pay money back to the state. It's to underpin this development. In the same way with wind farms, offshore wind farms that have got a strike price of £150 a megawatt hour, £140 a megawatt hour, there is no free way of being able to build the infrastructure to generate the electricity we need. And if you said you do it with gas-fired power stations, then you've got a big fuel cost as well. And in the last 5 years, we've seen the wholesale cost of electricity fluctuate between £30 and £120 a megawatt hour just in 5 years. So thinking ahead 10 years to when this starts to generate, and then for the 35 years after that, if you can stand here and tell me now, or anyone can tell me what the electricity price is going to be at that point, in comparison to £92.50, then you're in the wrong job.
But the challenge is the fact that it is such a gamble. As you said, it fluctuates, but at the moment it's half what the government's agreed.
Yeah,
so we're going to end up paying a bit more.
Within the last 5 years, it was a lot more than £92.50 megawatt hour, and no one can predict, because it's influenced by factors outside the control of any government, any regulator. Geopolitics, all sorts of things influence what the wholesale cost of electricity is and the wholesale cost of gas, which a lot of it drives from. The important point about low carbon power, including nuclear, including renewables, is you are less exposed to the volatility of wholesale gas prices. We've got to make sure we've got that in our balance and how we calibrate our energy mix for the future. Otherwise, the consumers will end up paying more, and we'll also be emitting a lot more carbon in a less secure world, and that's not a good thing for the country.
Okay, Tom, it's good to talk to you. Thanks very much, Tom, there, the Chief Executive of the Nuclear Industry Association. So, as you see, the debate will run and run. The government says it will make a decision in the early autumn, but as you can see, in the meantime, the work continues here to get the ground here prepared, all of the infrastructure in place, if and when that plant gets the go-ahead. More from me after 8. I'll see you then.
OK, Ben, thank you very much indeed.